Hi, I'm Brad Henry with Landau Controls and Shelley Automation, and in this video I'm going to show you the basics of how to connect a Cognex camera to a Moog smartmotor, with the intention that once you get this going, you can communicate and continue to build your application. So my setup here is I've got my camera connected to an RS-232 to RS-45 converter, and RS-45 is then connected to the 15-pin D-sub connector of a Class 5 D-style smart motor, which is what I have. You can find more information in the manual for your respective motor if it is different. And I'm using the Moog supplied RS-232 to USB power cable to connect the smart motor to my computer terminal so I can see everything that's going on and program the motor. And the camera is obviously connected to my computer using Ethernet, so I can program it. Now, the camera and the smart motor do communicate over RS-232, but in this case I don't want to do that because I would lose the ability to communicate to my motor from the computer terminal because it has to be through channel 0 of 2 channels. So that's why I've got the converter. So let's get started with the programming. In the Cognex software, I start a new job, connect the camera, and set up the image. Now, since it's just basics of how to connect, I've got the trigger set to continuous and an interval delay of 1,000 milliseconds. I've got an integrated light on here that I have turned on. So this means every time the camera triggers, I see a pulse from the light, which lets me know that something should have been sent. So after that, go down to Inspect Part, Math and Logic Tools, and go to Variables. I've already added that here. This gives you the same output every single time, so you know what's being output. As you continue on with your job, you'll of course switch this out for tool outputs and such. So I've got a variable, and it's just an integer 0 of 1, 2, and that's it. Pretty simple. I go to Communication, add a serial text device, and set the serial port settings. These should be the same between the motor and the camera, and I set my input and output terminators. I go to Format Output String, format the string, and I just add what I want. And it will output it here. Now this outputs it as a string, so the 1 is a character and the 2 is a character. And we'll see this as we go to the Moog motor. And then save the job, save it on the camera, make sure that it's set to go online with that job once you get it going, because the camera will only communicate serial once it's online. So that's the camera portion. Now if I go to the motor, here, I use this script. So this OCHN command opens up a serial connection port using RS-45 port or channel 1, no parity, 9600 baud, 1 stop bit, 8 data bits, and I'm in data mode. And I've got an infinite while loop that's just very basic, just checking if there's characters to be read in. Once the characters are read in, you can parse them out, do what you need to do. So if the length of the buffer in channel 1 is greater than 0, there's a character in there, it gets the character, and it prints the character. So that is all this is doing. Okay, let's see it in action. So I turn my camera online. I can see it pulsing, it's communicating. If I go back to my smart motor and I run it, I'm seeing 49, 50, and 13. Let's stop that for a minute and check the ASCII table. So 49 is a 1, and 50 is a 2. So I got a 1 and a 2 transferred over. So that's exactly what I want. So that is it. That is the basics of how to get a Cognex camera and a Moog smart motor talking to each other. Hope you found this useful.